What's up, guys? It's here. A new patch just dropped today, and people have been trying a lot of different legends on the new patch. Even though there weren't actually like huge changes to the legends themselves. Ornn got nerfed a little bit. Aurelion Soul got nerfed a little bit. Asol definitely seems a bit out of the meta, but I think because Ornn got nerfed a little bit, everyone's sort of like trying out all these new different legends because Ornn was kind of like the default for a lot of players. So today, I want to VOD review a game from the World Champion, Replay, of course, playing on the North American server. Where else? And he is actually playing the Earth Legend. Really interesting. This is a legend that a number of people who are high up on the ranked ladder have been trying recently. I was looking at Wajan Iverson. He's also been trying Earth after having a very bad run of it, trying to play Lee Sin. There's a lot of people who've been playing Lee Sin, and look, maybe I'll do a VOD review on Lee Sin later if I can find someone who's actually having success with it. But it seems to me like every single person playing Lee Sin is just going Giga Eighth every game, hard forcing terrible reroll comps. So we'll see. Maybe the formula for Lee Sin will be fixed later. I just realized my bag of cashews is in frame. I want to move that out of the way. You guys don't want to see the cashews. In any case, let's see what replay can do here. I should really pay more attention to what the galaxy is when we go into it. We're some kind of Shurima galaxy. We'll see what it ends up being. It's not the new one that gives you portals. Okay, so we got Earth here. Druid Lotus Juggernaut Crest options. We're gonna reroll those. Ravenous Hunter actually an option here. BT is one of BIS on Ravenous Hunter, so I'm actually a bit surprised he doesn't want to take that there. But I think he just sees the fact that he has 2 to 3 Piltover and wants to tailor for this tome, I would imagine. He has Talia in here, which can be a really good unit to tailor if you can fit her in because she's a multicaster, and there's no multicaster emblem. So I'm a bit surprised he doesn't get Talia in here. Maybe a little dizzy, or maybe he just simply doesn't prefer to get stream a +1. I was looking at Replay's stream earlier, and I believe he had like a tier list written out of all of the emblems. He had Shadow Isles very high, Zaun very high. I think Shadow Isles and Zaun were both in S tier, so I could definitely see him looking for Shadow Isles here, looking for potentially Piltover. He doesn't have a Zaun unit yet, which is rough if he wanted to tailor for that. Maybe that's another reason to go for, is that he actually has potential of hitting his Zaun unit, but still didn't hit it. But yeah, I mean, he has 8 units in. You should probably just top the tome now, get your direction. He does hit Shadow Isles, and so looks like we're off to the races. There was also Void, which I think, especially with the Void buffs this patch, I think is probably a really solid option. But we will see. So yeah, he knows he needs to play Maokai, but after that, it's kind of interesting. Yeah, like I'm a little dizzy in this spot. It looks like he's a little dizzy in this spot as well. Like we're playing Swain plus we're playing a random Sirocco. We're playing Swain plus Oriana. Is this really our best board? I would think something around this Akshan would be solid, though I guess we don't have anything to actually synergize with it. But yeah, maybe this is actually the strongest board. I mean, you can fit like challengers in as well. I would probably be holding these challengers, like Aurelia and Set here, and I mean, because that like plays, yeah, you have to hold these. It plays very well into Shadow Isles. You play the Ione opener, you add a Callista to that, you're gonna get 4 Shadow Isles in relatively early, and then your board's looking really good. Yo, Tarek actually ties this board together beautifully. Yeah, Tarek over Oriana here, and all of a sudden this board looks amazing because he's Bastion and he's Targon and he's Sorcerer. That's actually just everything that you want. It's also possible that Replay thinks that Soraka is just kind of a broken early game unit. So a lot of people in the last patch play around Soraka a ton to a lot of success, and they buffed her damage this patch, but nerfed her healing. So if you need some kind of like backline carry, maybe Soraka is what you want to look at. We might be getting the boss tier though. Certainly seems like it. Yeah, we just can't kill this giant set, and we got to make 10 here. So he's not going to hold Tarek pair. It's just far too expensive to hold in this situation. But yeah, this is an interesting spot itemization wise because these items are like god awful on Callista, and like I think yeah, Rod is your best way to get toward an item that'll be good on Gwen. But even then, like you can make Ionic Spark. It's a very solid Gwen item. It's kind of like bad with Callista early, but like we know we're gonna be playing around more vertical Shadow Isles, so I wouldn't be that shocked to see it. And yeah, he's just gonna slam Ionic Spark. It's also just a very good slam early. I mean, we're on 3 loss here. We should probably just try to go for the 5 loss in this situation. Yeah, I think actually some the Ionic here is a pretty big mistake because this might actually mess up his loss streak. But yeah, you see actually here, this player took dedication, which is now like takeable with the changes this patch. I think we saw another person who who had like Zon +1. I'm not sure where they got that from, but yeah, like a lot of people have been trying out this Earth Legend on the new patch. It looks like this fight we were just gonna win regardless. Not really too much to be done about it. Rain's board is just way too weak. So yeah, kind of rough. I mean, I think if he had cut Swain, he probably would lose this fight, and he could actually play for a really good loss streak. But I don't know. It's a tough call to make. Um, it's Malzahar 2 here, which is a very solid unit. Got nerfed this patch, so I'm curious to see how new Malzahar does. But yeah, and I'm also interested to see how new Malzahar targeting looks, because they said Malz is always going to target like the most units that he can, though it doesn't. He can only hit 2 units max now. So in my opinion, I think Malz got like giga nerfed, but we'll see. Maybe the new targeting is enough to make it like I mean I know it's a huge nerf. I mean that's like that's all that can be said about it, but maybe it's not the worst thing in the world. I guess we'll see. Malz does still have the opportunity to fizzle there. You saw like Malz starts casting as a unit dies, and then the cast just completely whiffs, which feels bad, but what are you gonna do? Um it's an interesting opener actually. Replay's played this very interestingly because he's not like he hasn't seen a Callista yet. He has this Shadow Isles +1, but he has had to actually just like play around just what he's hit in his shop so far, which is yeah, it's kind of wild. You also saw someone there who also took Tome of Traits. I didn't get a chance to see if they were Earth or not, but there's another person who took Tome of Traits their first augment. And also we're not in Shuriman. We're not in the one where there's extra like ooh second tome. I don't hate it. We're not in the one where there's extra components on carousels, and we're not. I think we're in the one where you get a Oh wow, this is really interesting. Targon Void, Deadeye, Strategist. Oof, these are all pretty bad, right? I mean, for now, I guess you could just take Targon, stabilize your board, and you can maybe fit it in later. Um, but yeah, we must be in the one where you get like Treasure Dragon. I would have to think. Itemization here. I don't dislike Sunfire. I like Hodge as well. Yeah, I like Sunfire Hodge here a lot. And then you can save the bow for a Callista item, ideally like Winsu, and then the sword can also become like, I don't know, a Callista item, a Gwen item, something like that. I like this a lot. What's kind of hard, you can actually hold Soraka here. It feels bad. But like there's no way I'm breaking 40 to hold Soraka here. There's no shot. Oof. Okay, I mean, you probably just roll overcharged and cut above. I don't think either of those are very good. All natural doesn't seem amazing in this spot. I don't really love shoplifting. So ooh, he's gonna go for the shoplifting. Okay. I barely ever take this augment, so I'm curious to see how replay does with it. I mean, it's just sort of like an okay-ish econ augment that gives you a good amount of gold every round, and then like the amount of gold that you get is it's tied to your shop level, right? Because you're getting that highest cost unit. So like actually the more you want to push levels, the better shoplifting is. If you wanted to like sit at level 6 the entire game, it wouldn't be as good as if you like push fast 9. So yeah, it's a really interesting augment. I tend to shy away from it, but I mean his other options were pretty bad, so I'm not that shocked that he went for it here, but I don't really I don't love it, but maybe it'll be good. This is a spot where he probably wants to go fast 7, fast 8. So, yeah, I don't dislike it. But yeah, he gets a Warwick out of the shop for free. That's 2 gold. Fog. Ideally, he would high roll like a 5 cost, then he could get that out of the shop for free. Or even he's level 6. I meant a 4 cost. I meant a 4 cost. I'm not trolling. I swear. But yeah, I mean, his board looks like, I mean, honestly, not that great. I'm a bit surprised that he's actually on a 4 streak in this position. I mean, his board was pretty good last stage, but this stage, he hasn't actually hit any upgrades for it. All he's done is add an extra Taric. Um, so yeah, and I think, I mean, it looks like this lobby is just giga weak, because I'm pretty sure, I mean, we'll see what this set can do. Oh my god, he just one-shots his board. Okay, I think the set can win this. The way that Replay would be able to win this fight is if Swain did not get one-shot by that first set cast. Like if set cast on someone else, but because the set one-shot the Swain, immediately Replay lost his Ionic, lost his Sunfire, and yeah, the fight was lost. So yeah, I think a Gwinsu here would be really good. If you can't get to Gwinsu, it actually becomes quite awkward. What are you looking for here? Like Edge of Night for Gwen or something like that. But I mean, yeah, you need the rod. Even if you don't want to go Gwinsu, like I think you can also just hold on to the rod for like a Gunblade for Gwen. So it's like Hodge Callista, Gunblade, Gwen, or like vice versa actually maybe. Um, but yeah, look at this. Wow. Really, really aggressive leveling because he has this shoplifting, right? He can still make 20 here. As long I mean, even if he loses, he can still make 20. He would just have to sell the Warwick, which would feel bad. Um, but and one of the units on the left side of his shop. But yeah, I mean, you really need to make 20 here to repair your econ. But yeah, I mean, with shoplifting, I don't hate it. But yeah, he does slam the Gwynsu here. That's what he wants to make here. I'm a little sus on this. I mean, I was gonna say I'm sus on the Swain positioning a little bit, but with the Tark, it actually didn't look too bad. Though you know, like I guess the question is, like, what would you put on the outside if not Tarek, or if not Swain? And yeah, there's not really anything. Yeah, boom, gets that Sejuani for free. All of a sudden, this augment is giving us 4 gold for free. That's not bad. 4 gold per round is like much better than a lot of econ augments. The problem is you're taking an econ augment at 3-2, which tends not to be the best, but you know, we'll see what shoplifting can do for replay or replay here. But yeah, like I tend okay, yeah, he does actually move Swain in a little bit. I think I like this more. It's just because like if Swain dies, you just lose so much strength on your board. You lose your entire Ionic and your entire Sunfire cape, which is just so powerful. So yeah, I think he realized that having Swain on the edge there was just quite sus. Because like, you know, if your Tarek dies in servicing of your Swain living, it's completely worth. I mean, you can make Tarek too here. We could probably try to fit Tarek on the board. And he rolls and hits double Callista Shop, so that's really nice. Yeah, he's just starting to full pivot his board. He knows he has to roll in 7 for at least 4 Shadow Isle. Oh my god, 2 Aphelioses? I mean, I don't believe Shadow Isle Aphelios is very good, right? I would think it's bad, but I mean, you have an Aphelios too, and you have a Targon +1, you're probably playing it, right? I would imagine. Um, and then at this point, you can kind of itemize the Aphelios instead of the Callista. Um, he needs to get in one more Shadow Isles unit. He has the 1 cost plus Callista in, but he hasn't actually hit a Gwen yet, which definitely hurts a little bit. But yeah, okay. Yeah, I think you have to do this on frontline. And I'm curious here if he puts it on Aphelios or not. Yeah, I would think you do just put it on Aphelios here, because Aphelios 2 better than Callista 1, but you know, Aphelios is not going to benefit from the any of the synergies really have in. I mean, he managed to get Deadeye in, but not the 4 Shadow Isles. So interesting decision here. It's interesting like sort of route this game has taken. Like, you know, the Aphelios 2 looks a little high roll, and in some ways it is, but it's also just like weird. Like, I don't think he really wanted to play around Aphelios. I don't dislike social distancing here. Um, I think I've heard some people say that Final Grab Bag is quite strong. I don't really love Combat Caster. You're already getting shields. So I'd probably immediately roll that. Writing gifts I hate. Yeah, he's gonna go Social D, I think. I like social distancing a lot in this position because none of these units actually get stats. You know, like Shadow Owls does not give your units any AD or AP. Deadeye doesn't give your units any AD or AP. Also, Deadeye scales really well with the AD from social distancing. So it's actually really good. Like social distancing is good when you don't have those raw stats already. That's why social distancing is like pretty bad in something like sorcerers, where they're already getting so much AP for free that like you don't actually need another 20 AD and AP. But in this situation, you actually really like the AD and AP. This is a pretty bad fight, but at the same time, like, my god, what are we fighting? There's an Urgot 2 with a Juggernaut spat on it, and they're level 740? Like, they barely had to roll. I mean, to be fair, we have an Aphelios 2, but Urgot to Aphelios 2, two very different things, I think, especially in this patch. And I'm actually curious to see how Urgot does in the patch, because they did nerf him a little bit, but I mean, he looked like an absolute monster there, so does not look like he's garbage at this point yet. But yeah, I mean, at this point, we're just playing around Shadow Spat, and we're playing around Targon Spat. It's pretty scary. Like we want to go 8 in this position, but the port's actually like not the strongest in the world. Like the Aphelios is hopefully gonna do enough work. Hopefully that last fight was just a fluke. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, the other thing to point out is that there is synergy between Targon and Shadow Isles. There's no real synergy in the unit tree. I mean, in some ways, Tarek is like the connector because with Shadow Isles, you often want to play Shen because you often want to get Ionia in, and then you can get Tarek in to synergize with the Shen. Um, but I mean, in oh, and this item's just pretty interesting here. He takes oh, just to finish off Aphelios items, I guess, for like a GS. I guess I'm also surprised he didn't slam like Protector's Vow, but I guess he doesn't really have anyone to put it on. Yeah, I guess that's the idea. He can go 8 here, but it makes him so broke. Yeah, he's actually just leveling here and rolling to 0 here. Um, I mean, he is shoplifting, right? So like he does have the ability to hit like every single time he levels, he gets more value out of shoplifting. So maybe that's just the idea. And yeah, it looks like it's gonna be GS. Yeah, I'm surprised it was not protectors. Like what's he saving? He's saving the tier for something, maybe some kind of like AP or mana item. I mean, he doesn't really need mana items. But yeah, like, you know, the Targon. Four Targon makes these shields huge, as you can see. All the Shadow Isle shields are ginormous. So like there is actually some nice synergy there. And I mean, his board's doing well now. He won this fight. It looked like his 4-2 loss was actually just kind of a bit of a fluke, which is really good for him because it means his board's actually stable. And then eventually we're just going to transition to a 6 Shadow Isles version of the board. We're probably never going to be able to fit in Ionia, but it looks to me like you just cut Freljord here and then play 6 Shadow Isles. We will see what his final board ends up being. Because you will lose Shred if you do that, but I mean, I feel like what's the other option? Cut out some of the Targon units. I mean, that seems kind of bad. I feel like 4 Targon's actually doing a lot of work for you in these fights, and to do that, you would have to cut out either Aphelios. You could cut Soraka, but that only frees up one slot. So yeah, and I mean, Giga late game. Like if he goes 9, what he could do here is go 9, get 6 Shadow Isle in, and oh, and the reason he didn't have Shadow Isles in earlier was wait, is this actually good? This is pretty interesting, right? It's an RFC for Callista. The Morellas is pretty bad, I must say. The Declaw is not even bad. Um, you'd probably reforge the Morello, I would think. I don't even completely hate this though. Is it worth rerolling? Hmm. I think because I'm like the least greedy person in the world, I probably would just keep this and just live with it and just reforge like Morello plus Chain and then try to find like an item for, I don't know. Then you have like no Gwen items. Maybe you do just reroll this. Like you're not moving the Ionic. You probably reroll this. Okay. Bramble Hodge sparring gloves. Man, Treasure Dragon is so interesting. It's wild that like it was actually so fun when it was in the game. Another Hodge that would go on Gwen. This glove is pretty hard to work around. You also get a target dummy. I think I would reroll this one as well. I'd be completely shocked if he takes it though. It's not bad. He's looking to see the value of Bramble here. Okay. Looks like there was a lot of crit in the lobby. And he just goes for Bramble here. Yeah. I mean the dummy is gonna make social distancing value a little bit awkward, but that's okay. Um but yeah, so like that's Hodge for Gwen. And he's gonna Bramble the Gwen, but then what are his other items? Like he could go Gargoyle and then another Hodge. We're gonna Shroud Q-Cone. Protector's Vow QSS. I kind of like double Hodge. Worst case, if you really don't like it, like you could put the Hodge on Callista. But yeah, I actually like this the best, I think. Oh, that's interesting. So target dummy. I mean, the target dummy is not going to get AD and AP, but that's fine. But target dummy actually doesn't interfere with social distancing value. I didn't think about that. Okay, so it's actually kind of fine. You don't have to. Yeah, yeah. He just checked, and looks like they got AP. So yeah, you don't actually have to position social distancing when you have target dummy. That's smart. Same thing as like Heimerdinger turret, the Void Egg, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's a bit surprising to me that he's on a 4 streak once again this game. Like his board to me, I mean, it looks okay. But I think he's really getting carried by synergies and just hitting Aphelios too here. Like the Aphelios to Giga stabilize his board, and then um the uh the Shadow Isles units have actually like stabilized him super hard as well. So really, really cool to see. Okay. We're fighting. Ooh. Wait, what is this board even? It's Noxus, but they're also Garen. They're like Noxus Juggernauts. Not like a standard like vertical Noxus board. I mean, it looks like it kind of is vertical Noxus, and then like it's probably 6 Noxus. One, two, three. I see at least 4, so like surely they're playing 6, and then Garen also had one. But yeah, it's like 6 Noxus, and then they just added 4 Jug. Oh, that's like relatively standard. Um, okay. Can level here, go to 9. Once again, it seems like he's always just leveling. Oh, and then he opens cells there, rolls once, and actually hits Senna, which is huge. Yeah, I think you do have to end up cutting Freljord here just because like it's too valuable to get this in. And then I would at this point just probably cut Deadeye. If you could get like an Urgot too, maybe, but I'd probably end up cutting the Ash for just some strong utility unit. I mean, it's got to be Heimerdinger, right? If you get Heimerdinger, all your problems are gone this game because all of a sudden you get the Shred from Heimerdinger. You already have healing reduction from Sunfire, but you know, spreading the healing reduction is really good. So yeah, Heimer seems amazing here. You could even take a Heimer with Quinsu. I would not be upset about getting that off carousel whatsoever, because all of his units are kind of itemized. You can basically just itemize Callista here. You're like, what do you even take here? Giant, yeah, yeah. This thing, what's this item called? Warmog's armor, but like, I guess you're putting it on Maokai. All good, I guess. There's another Senna, also gets the Scion here, but yeah, I mean, at this point, you're just rolling to try to find. I would think Heimerdinger. Um, I still think I think Rise is probably already better than than this Ash here. I don't know, unless he values two Deadeye that highly. But like they buffed Shreeman Rise, and I already thought Shreeman Rise was pretty good. So yeah, I'm a bit surprised to see the Ash still in. Maybe he's just trolling, or maybe he has a reasoning why he thinks two Deadeye is actually like quite valuable on this board. But yeah, I mean, ooh, when this is not. It, I don't. No, this is the same player who actually who hit him really hard at 4-2, and all of a sudden he fights this player again and loses this fight. That's wild. They've been like his nemesis this entire game. All right, gets another 5 cost for free. I'm pretty sure you just have to roll to 0 every round here and try to dig. Man, he's seen so many Aphelioses, by the way. Like no one in the lobby is playing Aphelios. I'd probably get Atrox in here over. I mean, I'm just hating on Ash at this point, but I feel like Atrox is also already better than Ash. Like you can get Atrox in and potentially Atrox onto the Gwen will be really nice. So yeah, I don't dislike that. We're fighting this person, but there's actually really good positioning. I don't know that he even scouted them. He might have just high rolled being correct side, but as Aphelios not getting stuck on this Eternal Winter is probably the reason he wins this fight. Yeah, because it's really close actually. Yeah, if his Aphelios was on the other side, he would guaranteed lose this. And oh my god, he still does. At least it's a 1 unit loss though. Wow, just barely, right? If he if he was slightly stronger here, if he like honestly, I think if he had Atrox over the Ash, wouldn't he have won that fight? I think so, man. I mean, to be fair, it's it's not unreasonable to be dizzy in this position. Like this is not a board that I have ever played in my life. 6 Shadow Isles, 4 Targon. But what a cool board it is, right? It's just the power of Earth, like forcing you to play like sort of weird creative lines, which definitely like. Scion's good. There's the Heimer ring. I would immediately just get Heimer in here and start looking for turret upgrades. I think Heimer's like 10 times better than this Atrox here because you're lacking Shred on this board. I mean, you already have the Ionic, but you don't have Armor Shred, which is really crucial because your main carry is this Aphelios. So yeah, a bit surprised. I mean, it's Slayer for Gwen, but I don't think that's that valuable. Hodge here, I guess, is gonna go. Oh, Hodge Senna. Interesting. Probably would have just taken a tank item there. But you just have no to itemize it because you have to Hodge the Senna. Obviously, the damage on her is pretty lackluster. But just the mana on her is okay. And I mean, the damage isn't the worst, right? How much damage you do? 3,500. I mean, it's more than I thought. Wow. Okay, not bad. Um, he did win a fight, but this didn't actually like kill anyone, so he's still stuck here as not locked into the top 4 yet. But I mean, a really really solid spot still. I mean, a kind of precarious spot, actually. Maybe I'm exaggerating. Solid spot, like he's 8 HP, man. If he fights someone really strong, he's gonna die. And he has to rotate in this I'm Riveting player again, which has been beating him most of these fights. He is the correct side for the Urgot to not one-shot his Aphelios, which is big. I'm pretty sure that has been the determining factor in the last couple of fights, is Urgot one-shots his Aphelios. And his Aphelios is onto Zeri, but his frontline died pretty quickly. This Maokai has to keep living, but I think he's going to. Oh my god. He's losing for a while, but man, this Urgot will just not die. Oh my god. I think he just barely, yeah, just barely wins this, but still no one dead yet. That is crazy. And he's still rolling here to try to find Gwen too, by the way. Like, that's what he's rolling to 0 every round for. He's trying to find a single Gwen and just, for whatever reason, cannot find one. And Gwen 2 spikes his board so hard. Now he's going to fight the win streaking player, who is another Zeri player, actually. So yeah, domination of Zeri so far on this patch, it looks like. He dodges the Zephyr, dodges the Eternal Winter. He did lose to this player last time though, and I don't know if they've got any stronger. I guess we'll see. But I mean, this is his perfect in slot positioning. If he loses this fight, then he was never going to win it. So we'll see what happens. He ends up getting stuck in the Eternal Winter eventually, as he has to get through the front line, but he does get through it. And now it's just, can he kill the Zeri in time? And he can. Kills them off. All of a sudden, it's a top 3. Ooh, that's not bad. I mean, it's an Atrox 2 guaranteed. The problem is you have to take a Freljord spat. I mean, you probably just take it. But like you can't actually fit Freljord in because you have like you're playing the Aatrox, right? So kind of annoying. Oh, and he hits Gwentu here, big. Yeah, there's not really a unit that you can cut here to get. You could cut Soraka actually. If you see a if you see a Ash, it's probably stronger than. I mean, you lose 4 Targon is the issue, but like getting 2 Freljord in here, I think is kind of big. Um, but I mean, he doesn't see the Ash, so we won't get to know if he would make that decision or not. This was scary, but actually because of like where his Taric is, he's not gonna get like super wrapped on, which is very good. If he didn't have that Gwen there and instead the Taric got separate, I'm pretty sure there's a good chance that Darius just wraps a backline there. He does end up winning this fight. It's another win. That player's dead, so it's at least top two. And now it's just him and the person who kept beating him. This 6 Zon board, which okay, they took Zon +1 just from an augment, actually. They didn't actually take it from Tome of Traits. But let's just pretend that they're also Earth and that they took it off Tome of Traits, right? Wait, they actually are also Earth. So they could have tried to go for it off Tome of Traits. This is the rise of Earth, honestly. Top 2 this game are Earth. Pretty interesting. All I'm saying is maybe there's something to this Earth legend. I don't know. I mean, I'm always down to see new legends pop up. I want to live in a world where every legend is viable. So yeah, and for some reason I said Earth and then second guessed myself and thought that I was saying the wrong legend, but it definitely is Earth. I thought I was like saying Bard for some reason, but that doesn't make any sense. This Gwen's doing work, but I don't think she can actually get through the Urgot in time, so it looks like he is going to lose to this board and the Atrox can't do anything. So it is a very, very close second for a replay. Really, really cool game. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like, comment, subscribe, check my Twitch and all my other links down below. Thank you, thank you.